I've been using the Creality K1 Max for just over a year now, and honestly, it's still the best 3D printer I've ever owned. If you saw my 6-month review video on this printer, you already know how it felt back then, and a year later, this machine still holds up incredibly well. Today, I'm breaking down exactly why the K1 Max is still 100% worth picking up at this price point. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So starting it off, we got the specs of this printer. First things first, it comes with a 300 cubed build volume, which means it's 300 by 300 by 300 each way. This can print most helmets, actually if not every helmet on the market that you can get, it can print it out, except for the gigantic big helmets. It won't be able to do that, obviously, but if you have a good normal sized helmet like a Mandalorian helmet, a Star Wars helmet, Space Marine helmet, Echo helmets, any type of helmet that you will need can be printed in one shot on this printer, and the 300 cubed build volume can print out most things in one shot. It is amazing. You can print up to 600 millimeters a second. Now I don't recommend going all the way and maxing it out to the 600 millimeters that they do advertise, because your quality will look like trash. It will sacrifice the quality, so I don't recommend going that high, but you can go up to about 300, 350. That's like the barrier I've been pushing. I usually like to keep it around 100 to 200, just like a normal speed. I don't need it to go too fast, but if I am needing something that is really late, you can go up to that 300, 350 threshold. It has automatic bed leveling. We are done with the times of leveling a bed with a piece of paper. I am not doing that in the big 2.6, leveling a bed with screws and a piece of paper with sticks and stones. So you don't need to do that. It does it all by itself with the click of one button. Moving on from that, you have AI LiDAR, which means you have first layer spaghetti detection. If your printer is messing up on the first layer, it'll automatically stop it. So if you're not in the house, you do not have to worry about, oh, I'm 8 hours in, I was gone, my whole print is messed up and I got spaghetti everywhere. You do not need to worry about that anymore. And also, it does have great UI. We'll get to that in a second, but the UI on this printer is amazing. Everything is where it needs to be. It's point and play. Click here, click there, click there, click there, and you're all good. And that's basically it for all the specs of this printer. Also, I forgot to mention that this printer is actually a Core XY printer, which means it's not the usual bed slinger that works back and forth and back and forth. This printer just works from the top, and as the print is going at the top, the bed just drops lower and lower and lower and lower slowly, which makes the quality of your prints 10 times better. If you put a bed slinger and a Core XY together, the bed slinger or the Core XY will almost always blow the bed slinger out the water in terms of quality, because it doesn't have to rely on the bed moving and the nozzle lining up with the bed moving back and forth. It can just work at the top, and as it works, the bed slowly drops. Every single printer that comes out now will most likely be Core XY, because the print quality is just 10 times better than anything a bed slinger can ever produce. Every single time a Core XY will be produced, and this printer is a Core XY, and it's a game changer in terms of quality, because it is beautiful. The amount of great prints that barely even need sanding. Sometimes I don't even need to sand some of these prints because they come out so good off the Core XY. So I highly recommend getting any printer, not just this printer, any printer that's a Core XY, whether that be the Bamboo Lab P1P, whether that be a Centauri Carbon, the K1 Max, K1 series, anything that has a Core XY, your prints will look 10 times better than normal, or if 10 times better than a bed slinger. Also, if you watch my V3 Plus video, that's a Core XZ. The Core XZ has 2 Y support rods that makes the bed work less, and the quality is immensely better as well. It honestly compares to the K1 Max in terms of quality with the Core XZ and a bed slinger, just because it is a Core XZ. If you're shopping for a printer, I recommend getting a Core XY or a Core XZ. This printer has a beautiful Core XY, and I highly recommend it. And also, I forgot to mention that this printer does have a time-lapse camera. That is probably my favorite feature on this printer, just because for the simple fact that I always want to know, like, oh, what is the progress of my prints? How is my prints doing? What did it look like as it was going up? I always wanted to see that, and it also gives me B-roll, so I can show you guys in these videos, like, how did this look going up? I can show you guys how I actually printed stuff. And the time-lapse camera is easily my favorite feature of this printer, surprisingly, because you could just see everything. Throughout this video, you're going to see a lot of B-roll. You're going to see a lot of stuff being printed, and that's just like a plus of the printer as well. Also, again, stay with me now, stay with me. This printer does have wireless camera settings that you can see your print, or you can monitor your print while you're away or out the house. I honestly don't use that because it's set up through Creality Print, and Creality Print is terrible. That app is so trash. I don't recommend it. It's through Creality Print. If you do want to indulge in seeing your prints go while you're away, while you're gone, it's live monitoring. You can set it up through Wi-Fi. You can do that as well with the time-lapse camera. So this printer has a lot of great features. As of right now, this printer is sitting at $630. When I bought this printer last year back in around November, this printer was on a Christmas sale and I got it for $679. So it's even lower right now on the New Year's sale. If you are keeping up with all of my videos, and as I'm saying, these print websites give away these printers for scraps. Every single time there's always a deal going on. Halloween, Christmas, New Year's, Easter, Veterans Day. Like, there's so many deals that these 3D print websites go on and do. Always look out because they're giving out these printers for so low. The printer usually runs for $1,000. I was on a rare time that I saw this printer not on any deal, and it was really going for $1,000. Like, they were not trolling at all. These printers always have deals running. They're always, every single website, whether that be Elegoo, Bamboo Labs, whether that be Prusa, every single one of these websites and these 3D printer companies, they're always running deals, and they're always trying to get these printers to people for a very, very cheap price. Now, I don't know why that is. I really don't know why that is, but they're doing it. So I would take advantage of it while you have these deals, especially since this printer is on a New Year's deal, and you see the New Year's deal is lasting for 22 days because of the new year. So I highly recommend to jump on it while you can, because the deals will be gone. And even if you don't jump on it while you can, the deal will come back because there's always so many deals. Moving on from that, we got the pros and the cons of this printer, and starting it off with the pros, we got quality. So as I said before, this printer produces amazing quality. Now, this is not saying that the Bamboo Lab P1P, the Elegoo Century Carbon, which my brother does have, doesn't produce great quality, because they're all kind of the same because of that Core XY, and they produce beautiful quality. But with the K1 Max, what I have seen, this quality is unmatched. Now, this is a Boba Fett helmet that I'm currently working on, and just look at that quality, bro. These are all scratch marks that I had on this side, but look at that quality, bro. Take a look at that quality. This came out so beautiful. Now, earlier I was using Cura Slicer. I recently moved to Orca Slicer. I did fold. I was gonna stay on Cura, but I moved to Orca Slicer, and it literally just unlocked a new printer for me. I was not getting this great of quality on my Cura Slicer. Ever since I switched to Orca for this Boba Fett helmet, the quality has just been so like insane. Now, this is not to say that the other times of quality that I have on every other thing is not as good. This was also printed on my K1 Max as well. This is for Jabber from Gotchi Akuda. It's another upcoming project I have. See if I can focus that. You can't really see it on the camera. There it is. Look at that. Just look how beautiful this came out. Moving on, I'm gonna show you guys some detailed pieces that I have. I'm currently also working on Ella's Gersmont from Rainbow Six Siege, and look at that. This is the little GU part at the bottom. There we go. Beautiful quality. Like, it's just insane what this printer can actually do. Last but not least, we got Jabber's claws that I'm also working on as well, printed on the K1 Max. Boom. From those props, needless to say, the quality is beautiful. Like, I have no issues with quality on this printer every single time. Now, sometimes it does lapse in quality, then I just need to adjust some of my settings. When I was actually on Cura, I did need to adjust some of my settings, and once I dial it in, it's back to having beautiful and amazing quality, and it never lapses. Again, I'm going to say this is not saying or taking away the quality of the Century Carbon or the P1P, because arguably those printers have better quality than the K1 Max, but I'm saying that the K1 Max has produced quality that has never been seen. And these are prints recently. This is prints from a year later, and the quality is still looking like this with barely any maintenance done. That is insane to see. So going off that last clip, next we have the reliability of this printer. Now, the reliability of the new Core XYs that are coming out, especially the K1 Max, are insane. In a year of having this printer and using it and beating it every single day, and every single time I can use this printer when I have filament, I'm using it, I've only had 2 clogs. And the reason why I had those 2 clogs was because of me and user error. And this entire time, I've never ever, now maybe I got lucky, maybe there's something between the lines, I've never had to replace it. Every single time I needed this printer to do something, or I needed this printer to work, it worked. I didn't have to question it. I pressed a few buttons, I calibrated it, and it just goes. It's insane how reliable this printer is, and also the new printers that are coming out. But just the K1 Max itself, it's insane how reliable that this printer actually is. It is so wild. And the reason for that, I believe, is because of this little thing right here. This is called a unicorn nozzle right there. What the unicorn nozzle does is it's no longer a small nozzle and a hot end. The nozzle and hot end are built in together with that unicorn nozzle. I'll also throw a picture of it right here. It's built together, which means that the filament doesn't have to go through a hot end and then go through another nozzle and then come out onto the print. It just goes in one singular motion, and it doesn't have to do anything. It doesn't get caught on anything. It's just straight down. It's an automatic direct drive. And this printer also comes with a direct drive built inside, so it automatically feeds it down with the gear extruder system. So with that gear extruder system, pulling it down and then going into the unicorn nozzle and pulling that down, it's just so reliable, and it's all in one, and it's simple. It is crazy how innovative that is, because I've never got a clog with it. I never had to change it out. The only time I had a clog is because I didn't unlock the printer when taking the filament out, and it clogged like that, and I had to replace this unicorn nozzle. And now jumping from that, we're going to go in straight into maintenance. With this unicorn nozzle, it is a quick and plug and play. If you have like a drift car, like I'm gonna use this analogy, if you have a drift car and you have a quick release steering wheel, it's just like that with this unicorn nozzle. You unscrew the unicorn nozzle, you take it out, then you screw in the other unicorn nozzle that you have, screw it back in, and plug and play right in. You don't have to take everything apart. You don't have to remove all different pieces to get to that one piece that you need for the nozzle. You could just unscrew it, take it out, rescrew it in, put it back in, fill the nozzle through, and you're ready to go. The maintenance on this printer is actually insane, especially since I don't have to level the bed and I don't have to move with anything else. All I have to do is replace that nozzle once every while, and I've only replaced it twice because of those 2 clogs that I had. And also the parts for this printer is a little bit more expensive because it is a newer printer and it's higher quality, so the parts will be just a little bit more expensive, not too crazy. But for this unicorn nozzle, you get a bunch. I have extras right here to show you guys. It is insane how good the maintenance is and the reliability is on this printer. You basically don't have to do anything. It's out of box. You click print and you're going. Now, moving on from that, we have the UI of this printer. The UI of this printer is insane. Everything is where it needs to be. It's not difficult or hard to navigate where to go on this printer. It tells you exactly where you need to go and what to do. Exporting the files and getting it to the printer is easy. I'm going to obviously have a video playing while I'm talking about this. Everything where it needs to be. You can adjust every setting. If you want the fan to spray higher than the other fan, you can do that. If you want the fan to go slower, if you want more cooling or less cooling, if you want the calibration to go or not to go, if you want the camera to get your time lapses and everything you need there, you can go there. Everything is where it needs to be, and nothing is complicated at all. You can adjust how much of this temperature that I want. Do I want my bed temperature to be higher or lower? Do I want my nozzle temperature to be higher or lower? You can adjust that. You can adjust it while it's going on. If this is a little too loud, I want it to be a little bit quieter without sacrificing the cooling, I can do that. Everything is where it needs to be, and everything is just easy. It's so beginner friendly and it's so user friendly that it's like you don't even need to, oh, I don't know where this is or where that is. I don't know how to navigate this. Everything is just out there, and it's just like a phone. If you got a new phone, it's just like that. And the UI, I cannot stress it enough. Even in my last video when I was talking about the UI, it is just so good what Creality did with this UI, and actually listen to the people for once, and how like they wanted, oh, I want the UI to be better and I wanted more features on this UI and the user interface. They actually listened and it made it perfectly. And last but not least, for the pros of this printer, we have the speed and the adjustment of the speed. Now, like I said earlier, the 600 millimeters per second that they do advertise, you don't really want to go that high because your quality will be sacrificed. It will not be good quality or as good quality as if you lowered it down to 300, 200, and even if you didn't want the speed to 100. Now, this printer allows you to do that with the speed. You could fluctuate. With a bed slinger, you won't have that luxury of fluctuating between higher higher or lower. But with a Core XY or with the K1 Max, that fluctuation of speed is what makes it great, because you can be like, all right, I don't need this to be going quick. I have some time to make this. I don't need it to be in a rush. Let me drop it down to 100, 150. All right, I need it. I'm procrastinating. I need to hurry this up. Like me, I need to get this project done. 300, 350. It can get it out with good, amazing quality. I could sacrifice a little bit of the quality having that speed go up higher, but I'm obviously going to be sanding and post-processing anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I can do that. So the fluctuation of speed and going up and down between the speeds is what really makes this printer another feature that makes this printer just great. Now moving on, we have the cons of this printer. It's basically the same cons that I had a year ago, but starting it off with the loudness. Now this printer did get a firmware update to quiet it down a little bit more. It's still very, very loud because high-speed printing needs high-speed cooling, so you're always going to hear that fan blowing and blaring in your ear. But they did make it a little bit more manageable. Like I can actually sleep now. Back then I couldn't sleep at all when this printer was going and it was way too loud, but now I can actually sleep. Like I got work in the morning, I can actually knock out while having this printer going, and it's not that much of a hindrance. I still do recommend, if you get this printer, to have it in another room, or if you're not going to have it in another room, keep it farther away from your bed so you don't have to hear it as loud and hear it as much. They did the firmware update. It's still very, very loud, and obviously you're going to need it to be loud because you want that high-speed cooling with the high-speed printing. So it's not really that much of a problem, but back then it was very much a problem, and it still is a problem to this day. It's a flaw. No one wants to be hearing all night. I will have B-roll up of how it sounds now compared to how it did before. With this firmware update, at least they did do an update to quiet it down a little bit more, but it's still very, very loud. Next flaw we have is the spool holder placement. Now, like I said a year ago, they put the spool holder in the back. I don't know why with Creality that they have the spool holders be in the most dumb spots. Now on the V3 Plus, if you watch that video, the spool holder's on the side, which ruins the whole thing. I had to print out a new spool holder. Now on this, the K1 Max, again, a year later, I'm still having the spool in the same spot. I did not print a new spool, and it's still in the back. It's not that big of an issue for me because I have nothing in the back of this printer. I could just easily mount new filament where it needs to be. But a lot of people have print farms. A lot of people have these printers on shelves and stuff, and they can't reach back and behind to get the filament where it needs to be. So that is another flaw, because the filament spool holder should be on the side. It should never be on the back of the printer, especially if they advertise, well, oh, this is going to be an addition to your print farm. Well, if you're going to have it added to the print farm, I at least need to be able to reload the filament easier. So that is definitely a big flaw. It's probably the biggest flaw on this list, because no one, every single person that I know that has a K1 Max, everybody on Reddit, everybody on YouTube is like, the spool holder being in the back is like the dumbest placement ever. Obviously, because everybody that I've seen has print farms, and they're like, I'm not trying to reach back and do that. So that is another big flaw of this printer. And last but not least, the final flaw that I think this printer has is the bed. No way in the big 2.6 will I be using a glue stick to make my prints adhere to the bed. Now, I did buy a textured PEI plate. You can get one on Amazon for about $30. I'll put it right here, and probably in the link in the description down below. You can get a textured PEI sheet for any one of your printers, whether that be Elegoo, Creality, Prusa, Bamboo Labs. I'm pretty sure their beds are good. I don't know if they use glue sticks for their beds, but they use a glue stick for the K1 Max, and that is terrible. Why am I paying $700 for a printer and using a glue stick to make sure my prints adhere to the bed? That is terrible, and I should not be able or be having to switch it out myself. It should just come with a textured PEI plate, because the textured PEI plate just destroys every other print bed. It sticks perfectly, no glue stick needed. It's just a natural bed, and the prints come off the bed very easily. So like, the textured PEI plate should be the standard for these new printers. That is another another big flaw. That's probably obviously the second biggest flaw, is that you need a glue stick to make your prints adhere to the bed. Although they give you the glue stick, I should not be using glue sticks on a $700 printer. So after all those pros and cons that I've just listed, my final thoughts on this printer: should you get a Creality K1 Max? Yes, without a doubt, yes. If you can't get your hands on a Creality K1 Max, try to get you a Bamboo Lab P1P or an Elegoo Centauri Carbon. Just get a Core XY, because they are just wiping the floor with everything that are coming out. These printers are like the best printers that came out in the last 5 years easily. Just try to get your hands on a Core XY. But if you can get your hands on the K1 Max, I promise you this will be the best printer that you ever owned. And be sure to use Orca Slicer. You can use Cura. I've been using Cura this whole time, but I switched to Orca Slicer and it just unlocked a brand new version of the printer that I haven't seen before. So yes, get yourself a K1 Max. I'm not biased towards Creality or anything like that. I'm saying this because all the new technology that is coming out are just wiping the floor. That's why I'm just saying get a Core XY, try to get you a Bamboo Lab P1P, try to get you a K1 Max, try to get you a Centauri Carbon, because these printers that are Core XYs are literally wiping the floor with all the competition, and it's totally worth it. Again, my final thoughts will be yes, get a K1 Max. A year later, it hasn't changed. I haven't really been doing much for it to change. Like, I've been just slamming the printer with multiple different prints and going and going and going and going, and it's just been doing it. It's just been doing it. No problems, nothing crazy of note. I'm gonna come back with this video again, and I'll probably do another 6-month update after this and another year update if I still have this printer. I don't see why I would get rid of it, but if I still have this printer, I'll do a 6-month update again and another year update, and we'll see where we are from there. But for right now, a year later of having this printer, it's done everything I needed to do, and I highly recommend getting it. That's gonna do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, comment DNB X K1 Max. If you made it this far, comment that down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, without you guys, I would not be in this position to make these videos, nor would I have the motivation to keep grinding and to keep getting these videos out. Like I said, I will not stop. I'm sorry for the break. Hey, whoa. I'm sorry. I've been gone. Look at all these projects behind me. I got Boba Fett coming soon. I got Ella's Grisma. I got Jabber, and I got Asta coming soon. I got a lot of projects lined up. I got a lot of stuff and a lot of content for you guys. Stay with me. I promise you, I'm gonna try to get these videos out as fast as possible, and I'm gonna try to get back on that weekly upload little train that I had. But I am working overtime to get these. I'm literally getting slammed with all these projects, and I'm going to get it done for you guys, to get you guys the best content and the best videos on this channel, so you guys can keep coming back and keep being entertained and keep learning something new. I want you guys to learn something new every time, because I'm getting this information relinquished from my brother, and I'm relinquishing all this information to you guys, and I'm giving y'all this free game. So thank you guys so much again for rocking with me as long as you guys have, and I promise I'm not going anywhere. No matter how long it takes to get these videos out, they will get out. I promise you. That being said, happy New Year's to y'all. 2026. Just want to say I'm gonna be grinding. This is gonna be a little bit of yap. I'm gonna be grinding, of course, grinding. This year I want to make YouTube my job. Yes, I want to make YouTube my job. This year we're going to try to make that goal happen, and we're not going to stop. We're going to keep grinding and keep going. So happy New Year's, Merry Christmas. I hope you guys had a great holidays with your family. I did as well. Hope you guys had a great holidays. And with that being said, I'm yapping too much. I'm gonna get up on out of here. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, your night, whenever y'all motherfuckers is watching this video, man. And as always, keep designing, making, and building, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. Peace.